What women secretly look for in a man goes far beyond material wealth, flashy possessions, or the kind of surface-level markers that society often tells men to pursue. Emotional safety is one of the most underrated yet most powerful forces that govern a woman's attraction. To her, being able to express her heart without fear of criticism or rejection is priceless. It is not about how much you can buy her, but how much you can make her feel secure in her own skin. A man who provides emotional safety tells her, "You are safe here, you are allowed to be yourself." That permission is rare in a world where women are often judged for being too much or too emotional. When a woman senses that she can open up without her vulnerabilities being used against her, she feels something deeper than physical attraction. She feels trust beginning to grow. Think about the relationships that fail not because there was no chemistry, but because there was no sense of safety. A woman will not stay where her emotions are dismissed, minimized, or ridiculed. You may buy her gifts, take her on trips, or shower her with flattery, but if she cannot speak her truth to you without walking on eggshells, all of that fades into the background. Women want to know, will you hear me even when I don't make sense to myself? Will you be patient enough to hold my storms without abandoning me? Emotional safety is not about solving every problem she brings. It is about creating a climate where her heart can rest. And when you do that, you become unforgettable in her eyes, because she knows how rare it is to find such refuge in another human being. This is why listening is not a small thing. Listening, when done with true intention, is a form of protection. When you listen deeply, you tell her that her words matter, her perspective matters, and her feelings are worthy of space. Too many men listen to respond rather than listen to understand. A woman picks up on this instantly. She knows when your ears are open, but your mind is elsewhere, waiting for the chance to interject. Emotional safety demands presence. It demands that you slow down enough to say, "I'm here. You have my full attention." That presence is like oxygen. It allows her emotions to breathe. And it is within that breath that intimacy grows stronger. Emotional safety is also about consistency. If your words say one thing but your actions say another, she feels destabilized. Safety comes when your behavior is predictable in a positive way. Not predictable in the sense of being boring, but predictable in the sense that she knows she can count on you to be steady. If one day you are affectionate and the next day cold without reason, she does not feel safe. If one day you say she can talk to you, but the next you mock her for being too sensitive, she does not feel safe. To her, love should not feel like a gamble. It should feel like a place where she knows the floor won't fall beneath her feet. A lot of men underestimate the power of gentleness. Gentleness is not weakness. It is control of strength. When a man can be strong yet tender, when he can assert himself yet still create space for softness, that balance is magnetic. Women secretly long for that duality because it shows emotional maturity. They want to know that you won't lash out when you're angry, that you won't belittle them when you feel insecure, and that you won't weaponize silence when conflict arises. A gentleman is not one without boundaries, but one who knows how to enforce them without destruction. That creates an environment where a woman can bloom, knowing she won't be crushed under the weight of unnecessary harshness. To make a woman feel emotionally safe, you must also learn not to fear her emotions. Too many men panic when faced with tears or frustration. They retreat, shut down, or change the subject because they are uncomfortable. But emotional safety means saying, "Your emotions do not scare me." It means holding her hand through the storm, even if you don't have all the answers. It means reassuring her not by fixing everything, but by showing that you won't disappear in her moments of vulnerability. This steadiness is one of the most attractive traits you can ever embody, because it makes her feel like she has a partner in her journey, not just someone standing beside her when the sun is shining. Another dimension of emotional safety is non-judgment. Women often carry stories, experiences, or insecurities that they fear will make them undesirable if spoken aloud. When she reveals something vulnerable, she is silently asking, "Can you still love me if I show you this part of me?" Your response in that moment determines everything. If you criticize, mock, or compare her to others, the safety collapses instantly. But if you respond with understanding, empathy, and compassion, you give her permission to trust you with more of her heart. That trust becomes the foundation upon which true intimacy is built, far beyond the superficial exchanges of attraction. It is important to realize that emotional safety is not just about the big moments, but the small ones. It is built in everyday interactions, the way you respond when she interrupts you, the tone you use when you disagree, the patience you show when she is late, the kindness you extend when she is stressed. Women notice these micro moments. They are constantly measuring, am I safe here? Is my heart safe with him? If the answer is yes repeatedly, she grows more attached, more invested, and more willing to open the deepest parts of herself to you. And when a woman feels emotionally naked with a man and still cherished, that is when true connection flourishes. Lastly, emotional safety is not something you manufacture. It is something you cultivate from within. If you are not emotionally safe within yourself, you cannot provide it for her. A man who is insecure, defensive, or dismissive of his own feelings cannot magically become a safe harbor for someone else. You must learn to sit with your own discomfort, to manage your own storms, and to find peace within yourself. When you do, you naturally radiate safety to others. A woman feels it not because of what you say, but because of who you are. Emotional safety, then, is not an act. It is a state of being, one that transforms not only how she experiences you, but how she loves you. Confidence without arrogance is one of the most magnetic qualities a man can possess, and yet it is often misunderstood. Too many men confuse arrogance with strength, thinking that raising their voice, boasting about their achievements, or dominating conversations makes them appear attractive. In reality, arrogance repels because it signals insecurity hidden under a mask of bravado. Confidence, on the other hand, is calm, quiet, and deeply rooted in self-assurance. It does not need to shout because it speaks for itself. Women instinctively feel this difference because true confidence makes them feel safe, while arrogance makes them feel small. Confidence says, "I am secure in who I am," while arrogance screams, "I need you to validate me." And women are naturally drawn to the former because it reflects inner stability and emotional maturity. When you are confident without arrogance, you exude a sense of ease that puts others at peace. Women are incredibly intuitive. They can sense when a man is overcompensating, trying too hard, or fishing for approval. Real confidence doesn't try to prove itself. It simply is. It shows up in the way you carry yourself, in the way you listen without needing to interrupt, and in the way you remain grounded even in uncomfortable situations. Arrogance often tries to overshadow others, but confidence shines by simply being present. That quiet energy makes a woman lean in, because she feels she is in the company of someone who knows himself. It isn't about how loud you are, it is about how steady you remain when life tests you. Confidence without arrogance also shows up in humility. A man who is truly confident does not fear admitting when he is wrong. He does not feel threatened by learning from others, even if that person happens to be a woman. In fact, his openness to learn only reinforces his strength, because it shows he is not controlled by ego. Arrogance resists correction because it views it as weakness, but confidence embraces correction because it views it as growth. Women notice this subtle difference. They are drawn to the man who can laugh at his mistakes, who can own up to his flaws, and who can apologize without losing his dignity. To them, that is a man strong enough to stand tall without stepping on others. That blend of humility and strength is magnetic beyond measure. Another element of true confidence is emotional control. Arrogance often comes with impulsiveness, quick to anger, quick to belittle, quick to react. Confidence is measured. It knows when to speak and when to stay silent. Women feel safer around men who are emotionally stable because it assures them that they won't be blindsided by unpredictable outbursts. Confidence is calm under pressure. It is not shaken by every challenge or every disagreement. It demonstrates patience and maturity, which communicates, "I am in control of myself, therefore I can be trusted." This trust is one of the cornerstones of attraction, because a woman wants to know that her emotional world won't be destabilized by a partner who lacks control. Confidence without arrogance is also deeply rooted in authenticity. A man who pretends to be someone else in order to impress is not truly confident. He is wearing a mask, and women can feel when they are engaging with a mask instead of a man. Authentic confidence is comfortable with imperfection. It says, "This is who I am, flawed, learning, evolving, but still worthy." That kind of authenticity creates a sense of freedom for the woman as well, because she doesn't feel pressured to perform or pretend. Instead, she feels invited to show up as her true self, and when two people can be authentic together, it lays the foundation for a connection that is both genuine and lasting. Confidence without arrogance also shows in how a man treats others. Watch closely how he speaks to a waiter, how he addresses a cleaner, or how he reacts to people who can do nothing for him. Arrogance looks down on others, using them as props to inflate the ego. Confidence, however, treats people with respect regardless of their status. That simple consistency signals to a woman that this is not a man who needs to diminish others to feel powerful. It tells her he is secure enough within himself to uplift, encourage, and honor others, and that quality, though often overlooked, is one of the most attractive traits a man can ever display. Women are also drawn to the confidence that comes from a man's purpose. A man with direction, who knows where he is going, exudes a steady assurance that is unmistakable. Arrogance often substitutes purpose with posturing, pretending to be someone impressive while lacking real substance. Confidence is substance. It is rooted in the pursuit of something meaningful. When a man is aligned with his purpose, his energy speaks for itself. Women are not captivated by the titles or the material gains alone, but by the fire in his eyes when he talks about what he is building. Confidence is magnetic when it is tied to a vision bigger than himself, because it promises growth, stability, and leadership. Another powerful dimension of confidence without arrogance is the ability to be vulnerable. Many men assume that vulnerability weakens them, but in truth, it strengthens trust. Arrogance hides vulnerability because it fears being seen as weak. Confidence reveals vulnerability because it knows strength is not diminished by honesty. A man who can admit fear, share his doubts, or express his emotions with balance demonstrates profound strength. Women see this as authenticity and courage. They don't want a man who feels nothing. They want a man who feels deeply, but remains grounded within those feelings. Vulnerability, when held with strength, is one of the clearest signs of true confidence. Finally, confidence without arrogance is not about dominating others, but about mastering yourself. It is about walking into a room without the need to demand attention, yet naturally commanding respect through your presence. It is the calm voice when others shout, the steady hand when others shake, the collected mind when others panic. That kind of presence is unforgettable. Women are not searching for men who are loud about their worth, but men whose worth radiates quietly and steadily. And that is the essence of confidence. It does not compete. It does not boast, it does not seek validation. It simply exists, and in its presence, others feel inspired, safe, and deeply drawn to it. Integrity is the invisible currency of attraction, and yet it is often overlooked in the pursuit of love and relationships. A man may impress with his looks, his charm, or his wealth, but what truly captivates a woman's heart is when his actions align with his words. Integrity is not something you can fake, because sooner or later, life exposes inconsistency. Women are highly intuitive, and they sense when there is a gap between what a man promises and what he delivers. The smallest contradictions chip away at trust, and without trust, attraction withers quickly. Integrity says, "You can count on me to be the same person in private as I am in public." That assurance creates a foundation where love can truly grow. Without it, no amount of superficial attraction can survive the test of time. Integrity shows itself in consistency, not in grand declarations. Any man can speak of loyalty, honesty, or values, but only a man of integrity lives them daily, especially when no one is watching. A woman is not only listening to what you say, she is watching how you behave when temptation arises. Do you still act with respect when the easy option is to deceive? Do you honor your commitments even when it is inconvenient? Integrity does not demand perfection, but it does require alignment between intention and action. This is where true respect is earned, because a woman knows she is with a man who stands for something beyond convenience. Integrity, therefore, becomes the anchor that keeps relationships stable even in turbulent waters. When a man lacks integrity, a woman feels unsafe, even if she cannot always put it into words. She may notice the small promises that are broken, the little lies that seem harmless, or the shifting stories that reveal a lack of steadiness. Over time, this creates emotional instability because she cannot predict his behavior. Integrity is not just about truth-telling, it is about reliability. It tells her, "What I see is what I get, and I don't have to doubt whether your actions will match your words." This reliability gives her the freedom to relax in the relationship, knowing she does not have to constantly double-check, second-guess, or protect herself from disappointment. That freedom is priceless, and it is the gift integrity offers. Integrity also reveals itself in how a man treats people outside of the relationship. If a man claims to be respectful but humiliates a waiter, lies to a colleague, or disrespects strangers, a woman cannot ignore the inconsistency. She understands that character is not selective, it is either present or absent. A man who cuts corners in other areas of his life will eventually do the same in the relationship. But a man who shows respect across the board communicates that his values are deeply rooted. Women are not only watching how a man treats them, they are watching how he treats the world. That broader consistency tells her, "This is not just who you are with me, this is who you are at your core," and that, more than anything, inspires trust and admiration. Another dimension of integrity is honesty, even when honesty is uncomfortable. Arrogance hides mistakes, integrity owns them. Many men believe that covering up flaws will make them appear stronger, but women see strength in truth. A man who admits when he is wrong, who confesses when he has failed, and who communicates openly instead of hiding, is a man who proves his maturity. Honesty builds intimacy because it removes the walls of pretense and invites real connection. Women do not expect perfection, but they expect transparency. And transparency is a clear sign of integrity because it shows that the man values truth over image, growth over ego, and accountability over avoidance. Integrity is also about loyalty, not just in physical terms, but in emotional and moral dimensions as well. Loyalty means standing by what you value, even when it is easier to walk away. It means defending the person you love in their absence, keeping their secrets safe, and protecting their dignity. Women feel deeply secure when they know their partner has a loyal heart, not only when times are good, but when storms come. Loyalty is the manifestation of integrity in action, and it speaks louder than promises. A man who practices loyalty consistently shows that he is rooted in principles, not circumstances. That reliability transforms how a woman views him, because she knows she is standing beside someone solid and unwavering. Women also notice integrity in how a man handles power. Integrity is not only about doing the right thing when powerless, but also when given authority. How does he use influence? Does he exploit it for selfish gain, or does he use it responsibly? A man with integrity is not corrupted by status, money, or opportunity, because his values guide his choices. Women are drawn to men who can be trusted with power because it signals long-term stability. If a man remains principled when offered shortcuts, temptations, or recognition, it tells her that he is grounded in something deeper than external rewards. That depth of character is rare, and it is the reason integrity is so attractive. Integrity is also measured by alignment in private life. If a man claims to love respect and honesty but hides habits, secret behaviors, or destructive patterns, a woman's intuition will eventually detect it. Hidden lives create hidden distance, and distance erodes intimacy. But when a man lives consistently, whether in front of others or behind closed doors, he communicates safety and authenticity. A woman doesn't have to worry about discovering a different side of him, because what she sees is what truly exists. This congruence builds admiration because it demonstrates strength of character. A woman will always honor a man more deeply when his private self aligns with his public words. Finally, integrity builds the kind of respect that sustains attraction long after initial chemistry fades. Physical attraction may spark interest, but integrity keeps the flame alive. It allows a woman to look at her partner years later with admiration, knowing that his character has stood the test of time. Integrity means that she does not have to constantly question, doubt, or investigate, because his consistency speaks louder than any declaration of love. This peace of mind is invaluable in a world full of uncertainty. And when a man embodies integrity, he creates not just attraction but devotion, because he offers something rare, a love built on truth, reliability, and unwavering alignment between who he says he is and who he actually is. Emotional intelligence is one of the most underestimated qualities that women secretly desire in a man, yet it is often the silent superpower that separates ordinary relationships from extraordinary ones. It is not about being overly sensitive or dramatic, but about understanding the language of emotions, both your own and hers. A man who is emotionally intelligent can sense the subtle shifts in energy, the tone behind the words, and the unspoken needs that lie beneath the surface. This awareness makes her feel seen without her having to explain herself endlessly. Women want a man who can understand not only what she says, but also what she feels. Emotional intelligence creates connection at a level that goes far beyond charm, looks, or wealth. It becomes the bridge that allows her to trust, open, and lean into the relationship more fully. The truth is, many men underestimate the power of simply being attuned. They assume that providing solutions is the ultimate goal, when in fact, presence is often more powerful than problem solving. When a woman comes home tired, stressed, or overwhelmed, she may not want answers, she wants understanding. Emotional intelligence means knowing when to step back and when to step in, when to listen and when to speak, when to comfort and when to give space. It is the art of balance, a rhythm that requires patience and mindfulness. Women feel cherished when they are heard without interruption and valued without judgment. This level of attunement creates a kind of intimacy that material possessions cannot replace. It tells her, "Your feelings matter to me." Emotional intelligence also involves managing your own emotions in ways that create stability instead of chaos. A man who cannot regulate himself becomes unpredictable, and unpredictability creates fear. If anger turns into shouting or withdrawal turns into silence, she feels unsafe. But a man who can acknowledge his emotions without being ruled by them creates reassurance. He can say, "I'm upset, but I will handle it without harming you." That kind of control is deeply attractive because it communicates strength and maturity. Women want to know that they are not in a relationship with a ticking time bomb. They want steadiness, and steadiness is the fruit of emotional intelligence. It is not about suppressing emotions, but about guiding them with wisdom. Another dimension of emotional intelligence is empathy, the ability to feel with someone rather than just feel for them. Empathy means putting yourself in her shoes, seeing the world through her eyes, and understanding the weight she carries. Too often, men dismiss emotions as exaggerations or overreactions, but empathy says, "Even if I don't fully understand, I honor your experience." This is powerful because women do not forget the moments when a man stood with them emotionally. They remember how he made them feel when they were most vulnerable. Empathy deepens connection because it shows that he is not just present in the relationship physically, but emotionally and mentally as well. And that presence is what nurtures true intimacy. Emotional intelligence also shines in conflict. Disagreements are inevitable, but how a man handles them determines whether love grows stronger or weaker. Emotional intelligence means not turning conflict into combat, but using it as an opportunity for understanding. It means staying calm enough to listen even when triggered, choosing words carefully even when hurt, and aiming to resolve rather than to win. Women admire men who can approach conflict without aggression or avoidance, because it signals resilience. It says we can face challenges without destroying each other. This ability to navigate conflict with wisdom not only strengthens trust, but also makes her feel more secure in the relationship. She knows that disagreements will not cost her emotional safety. Being emotionally intelligent also means being able to validate feelings without always agreeing with them. Validation is powerful. It communicates that her emotions are real and worthy of acknowledgement, even if you see things differently. For instance, saying, "I understand why you feel that way," does not mean you are surrendering your perspective. It simply means you value hers. Too many men make the mistake of arguing feelings as if they are facts, but feelings are not meant to be debated. They are meant to be understood. A man who validates without belittling creates a safe emotional space, and that safety encourages deeper sharing, because she learns she will not be mocked or minimized for what she feels inside. Emotional intelligence also includes self-awareness. A man who does not know himself cannot truly connect with another. Self-awareness means recognizing your triggers, your patterns, and your strengths, and taking responsibility for them. Women notice when a man is accountable for his behavior rather than shifting blame. They are drawn to men who can say, "This is something I need to work on," instead of, "This is your fault." Self-awareness demonstrates maturity because it shows he has done the inner work necessary to grow. That growth creates trust because it signals that he is not stagnant. Women admire men who are on a journey of becoming because it mirrors their own desire for evolution. Another layer of emotional intelligence is adaptability. Life is constantly changing, and relationships demand flexibility. A man who is emotionally intelligent knows how to adjust without losing himself. He can adapt his approach when circumstances shift, and he can meet his partner where she is without resentment. Adaptability communicates resilience and openness, qualities that women secretly desire because they create stability. A man who insists on rigidity in every situation makes a woman feel confined, but a man who can bend without breaking reassures her that the relationship can weather storms. Emotional intelligence makes adaptability natural because it thrives on understanding context and responding with wisdom. Ultimately, emotional intelligence creates the kind of connection that feels effortless yet profound. It is not loud, flashy, or showy, but it is unforgettable. Women remember the man who made them feel understood, valued, and emotionally safe, more than the man who merely impressed them with external achievements. Emotional intelligence builds attraction that deepens with time rather than fades. It is the silent thread weaving trust, passion, and intimacy together. And while many men overlook it, thinking it is secondary, women secretly know it is essential. Emotional intelligence is not just a skill, it is a way of being that transforms relationships into spaces of growth, safety, and lasting love. Purpose and passion are qualities that women secretly find irresistible in a man because they signal direction, drive, and vitality. A man without purpose drifts aimlessly, and while he may still attract attention, it rarely holds depth or longevity. Women want to know that the man they are with wakes up each day with intention, that his life is fueled by something bigger than convenience or routine. Passion is not limited to career. It can be a cause, a craft, or a vision that lights up his soul. When a man speaks about what excites him, his energy shifts, his eyes shine, and his presence becomes magnetic. Women feel this vibrancy, and it pulls them closer. Purpose and passion show that he is alive, not just existing. That aliveness is contagious and deeply attractive. A man's passion does not have to be glamorous to inspire admiration. It is not about impressing her with fame, money, or status, but about showing dedication to something meaningful. A man passionate about teaching, gardening, or even building something small with his own hands can be just as captivating as a man chasing big dreams. What matters is the fire behind the pursuit. Women look for men who are committed because commitment to passion signals the ability to commit in relationships too. If he can nurture his purpose through challenges, she sees that he can also nurture love through struggles. This link between passion and persistence is what secretly makes him stand out. It tells her, "I don't quit easily." Passion also creates a sense of adventure, which keeps the relationship alive. A man with passion is constantly growing, exploring, and discovering, and he invites his partner along on the journey. Women crave that energy because it prevents relationships from becoming stagnant. Without passion, everything feels mechanical and uninspired. But when a man is driven by something he loves, he inspires his partner to dream as well. He creates a world where both can push boundaries, evolve, and explore life with excitement. Passion is not just about personal fulfillment. It is about creating shared energy that makes the relationship dynamic. Women want to feel like they are walking alongside a man who is going somewhere, not standing still. Purpose gives a man depth, and depth is what truly captivates a woman's heart. Surface level charm can entertain for a moment, but purpose sustains attraction for the long run. When a man knows who he is and what he stands for, he communicates strength and certainty. Women secretly desire this because it provides stability. A man with purpose cannot be easily swayed by peer pressure, distractions, or temporary pleasures. He has a vision, and that vision acts as his compass. Women feel more secure with a man who is grounded in purpose, because they know he is not defined by external validation. He is guided by something within, and that makes him trustworthy, admirable, and magnetic. There is also a deep link between purpose and resilience. Passionate men are not deterred easily by failure because they see setbacks as part of the journey. Women admire men who rise after falling, who adapt after challenges, and who remain focused when circumstances test them. Resilience shows character, and character is at the heart of attraction. A man without purpose crumbles under pressure because he has no anchor. A man with purpose bends but does not break because his vision keeps him moving forward. Women are inspired by this because they want to stand beside a man who can weather storms with determination. His resilience gives her confidence that their bond can endure life's inevitable struggles. Another reason women value passion is because it reveals authenticity. Passion cannot be faked for long. It shows up in the way you talk, the way you act, and the way you prioritize. A man who pursues what he truly loves shows courage, because society often pressures people to conform. Women admire men who are not afraid to stand apart, to follow their calling even when it is unconventional. This authenticity is magnetic because it shows self-awareness and boldness. Women secretly desire men who live truthfully because it reassures them that he will also live truthfully in love. Passion, therefore, is more than a hobby or interest. It is proof of a man's alignment with his own identity. Purpose and passion also fuel leadership, and leadership is deeply attractive when expressed with humility. A man with purpose naturally takes initiative because he sees where he is going and invites others to join him. Women are drawn to this leadership not because they want to be controlled, but because they want to walk beside someone with vision. Leadership built on passion is inspiring rather than oppressive. It motivates, uplifts, and guides without domination. Women want to know that if life gets uncertain, they are with a man who has the courage to lead with clarity. This doesn't mean he must always have the answers, but it means he has the determination to keep moving forward with faith and vision. Passion also nourishes intimacy because it reflects energy and presence. A man who lacks passion often withdraws emotionally because without excitement in life, he struggles to bring excitement into love. But a man with passion carries vitality into every area of his being. His enthusiasm spills over into how he loves, how he communicates, and how he connects. Women feel alive around him because he is alive within himself. This inner fire creates chemistry that no material possession can replicate. It turns ordinary moments into extraordinary ones because he carries a spark that ignites her spirit. Passion is not just attractive, it is transformative in how it shapes the relationship. Lastly, purpose and passion create legacy, and women secretly long to be part of something bigger than themselves. A man with purpose is not only living for today, but also building for tomorrow. His vision is not just about what he achieves, but about the impact he leaves behind. Women admire men who dream beyond themselves, who want to create something lasting, whether it is for family, community, or the world. Being with such a man feels like joining a story that is still being written, and that story excites her. Purpose makes love feel like partnership, not just companionship, and when passion fuels that purpose, the relationship becomes a shared journey of meaning, growth, and fulfillment.